Sarat's also from Manipur. Does anybody have anything to say? I'll actually ask Jibon to send me a little piece on him so I can read out what Jibon had sent. So Sarat, after passing out in 1982, he taught drawing for 1 or 2 years at a government polytechnic in Manipur to diploma students of civil engineering. Later, he was appointed to the post of section officer grade 1 to the office of PHED, I don't know what it stands for, Government of Manipur. By and by, he got promoted to assistant engineer and posted at Thobal, a place just near his locality. After that, of course, he sort of started taking drinks a lot, which resulted in a severe stroke which made him paralyzed. And since then, he was bedridden and couldn't attend office. And then he passed away recently.
I can add something. Anyway, since there are no takers live, I will just add to it. Sarat was the site civil, a perfect cylinder and made of iron. Whenever I used to meet him, he was a black belt karate. He used to do like this, Titi, just press it hard. Perfect skill and very kind person. And he was so much so aware of his strength that he restrained any temptation lest somebody get hit and injured. I heard that he had a very bad days for the last few years while he was bedridden, lower body paralyzed. And these Manipuri guys, room number 306, Rajan and Jeevan Sharma, Sarat, then Sarat was a very good friend of Kumar Upadhyay also. So these are memories that it is flashing shot by shot, like cannot just narrate through words, but I can say that Chandrasekhar's photo I have. I will add some anecdotes once Anindo gives an opportunity, or it is a late night session otherwise. So just a couple of days back, we heard that Sarat is no more. It was a blow. The whole WhatsApp group was numbed on the news of his death. And you can appreciate that how dear and close he was. We all wish that he had a better life and blessed him.
Thanks, Amy. The next person is Sikandar Shah, Sikandar is someone that we have met so frequently in the last reunions. I wonder if anybody wants to say a few words on him. The most freshest memory, actually.
Good evening, guys. He was my roommate when I joined the college, maybe the first term. As any Bihari, maths used to be really tough for him. I used to teach him maths because he used to find it very, very tough, and even attending classes and all, we used to everything was a bounce of ideas. Many memories are there which I don't want to share at this moment, because each and every rendezvous used to be the center of attraction, and I think many of the better off will be knowing about him. So, keeping it on the lighter side. He was a nice character as such. He was very good, excellent, and he was dedicated to his job. He used to be in touch with us for a very long time. But unfortunately, this COVID has to take his life away. It's a very, very bad news. I got it the same morning. Really put us into deep grief. Nothing more to say. Used to be a smiling character, wonderful character.
Thanks, sir. Oshwini?
Good evening, everybody. Actually, Sapon Sadhu Khan, a lot of memories are there with us about Sapon. Sapon was a very aspiring boy and similar social background, and I had a very special intimacy with him since the starting of college days. And later we had good opportunity to work with him in Village Steel Plant. After passing out, he joined Village Steel Plant. So since college days to Village Steel Plant working days, a lot of memories are there with Sapon. That may be from social life and working life, everywhere. In college days, I remember he was a very serious boy and very career oriented and very sincere, rather sincere. Maximum work he used to do, and some stationery purchasing and all this type of activities I used to do. But whatever work, practical work he used to do, and he used to make the report and everything. So I used to just copy him, and in that also sometimes I used to get late, and he used to be annoyed with me. Are you are not helping that way, and you are getting everything done by me. So that type of sincere boy he was. After passing out in Bhilai, we used to stay together. We had very good coordination. So and his marriage was almost similar. In the same year, only 3rd June was my marriage day, and 7th June was his marriage day. And since then, we had a lot of memories. In Bhilai, he started learning tabla. After coming to Bhilai, and we gave him a nickname in Bhilai, that was Santa. We were not calling him Sapon. We used to call him Santa. Everybody used to know him as Santa. Santa Prasad, in the name of Santa Prasad. That was a nickname given to him. And in college days, one thing I remember, in the lab, we were applying for some loan in the bank. And I and Sapon went to use one telephone to call some bank officials, and most probably that time telephone was not easily available, and only 1 or 2 telephones used to be in the labs. And that we had connected that something in the dialing type of phone, and while coming out of that we got stuck with our leg, and that telephone instrument fell on the ground, and it was cracked. So that evening we both had very serious time, and something may happen. Somebody might have taken note of it, and that type of thing were there. But I told him, don't worry, college ka affair hai, ho jayega, kuch ho jayega, nothing to worry about that. So that memory is just coming to my memories at that time. But he actually passed away just because of a very small mistake, whatever you may say. In the office, from office, while he was coming back, he did not wear helmet. And while in our Central Avenue Bhilai, somebody hit him from back, and he flied, and his head was hit on a road barrier. And on 25th of August 2000, most probably, whatever I remember, and 26th evening he expired. So it was a very sad affair for his family also, because his wife was carrying at that time, and it was and we had to manage everything. A lot of friends were there in Bhilai. We managed his family. His family is very well settled now. His son is working in L&T, passed from Manipur, and Manipal Engineering College, and his daughter, he is doing fashion design from NIFT, and they are a settled life now. Thank you. That's about Sapon.
Thanks, Ashwini. I have Taposh Banerjee next. Anybody want to speak on Taposh? Basu and TT can speak on everybody actually.
Tapos, so he had a very sad death just after retirement. We all heard, we couldn't see him during his last days. He was nicknamed Inchus. Why Inchus? You will find some kind of characters, very intelligent, but very closed. He will speak to the least, but in the exam he will fare one of his best, and he will do all activities, but in a surreptitious manner. And later on, you will feel the effect of what he has done. So he used to be called Inchus, very nice guy, and very studious. At late nights, we used to pester him like this. See, it's a very cold night, 2 a.m., winter in Durgapur. We all were studying during PL. Tapos slept off. He regularly used to study till 11, 12, then used to sleep off. Suddenly, one of our guys knocks at Tapos's door. Inchus, Inchus. Tor kache robber ache, robber. Robber means eraser. Inchus suddenly gets awake. Kya hua? Suddenly he thought there must have been some questions, some notes, where something must have to be erased and some new drawing, so something new which he doesn't know, which is so urgent or so important for maybe the next day's exam. So he wakes up, comes out of his all that, way the door, opens the door. Kota ki. Suddenly this guy says, "Tik ache, amar kache ache, gumiye pod." This fellow walks out. He was furious on that day. So anyway, such small memories still exist. Very nice guy. Till passing, he was a very बात बहुत कम करता था, लेकिन in classes he used to be very popular with the professors because he used to ask very difficult, intelligent questions. So it's really a very sad day for us. We have lost one golden heart. He retired from Coal India Limited. We had a plan to induct him in our Calcutta Association, but ultimately we couldn't. So wherever he is, let Inchus live in peace. That's all our wish. Thank you.
Thanks, Basu. So I have JP wanted to say a few words on Kedia. And then TT, and then Shiva.
About Lalit Kedia, I can tell you that I've never seen such a hardworking young man. And when he was studying with us in college, he used to work 4 or 5 tuitions a day. And he was an expert tutor. And so there was a lot of demand from him. And he used to, some people have said before me, that with the earning from his tuition, he used to support his own family also. So it was no surprise to us when he joined, he along with 5 other mates, we joined Tata Motors, that is Telco, together. And he was in Engineering Services Division. And there also, he created a very good name for himself. He was a very hard worker, and everybody liked him because he used to be absolutely workaholic. After that, he joined Maruti, and then finally he came to Baroda. He joined Apollo Tires. So he gave me a call. He said, "I'm joining Apollo Tires." So we decided to meet, but later on what happened is that he left Apollo Tires, went back to Delhi. He left Baroda. So one thing I can tell you, if you want a definition of a self-made man, Lalit Kedia is the one true shining example in front of us. Thank you.
Thanks, JP. TT? Sir, you wanted to?
Chandrasekhar. I apologize for not being on time. I never knew that Chandrasekhar's photo is not available with Aninda. I have one. Actually, he was my project partner. Our is most defamed project in the history of REC Durgapur. We have a song written by Siva, although he is not a project partner. Siva wrote a song, and the C clamp they say in REC. Siva used to play guitar. Mano says that Siva never plays guitar as a guitar in college days because his lyrics were all drawn from Telegraph, the editorial. How can you imagine the lyrics written from a Telegraph editorial, Siva singing in Jupri? So, kind of. So, C clamp became an emblem of 82 batch. The project was owned by everybody other than us. And since serious people were elsewhere working and the workshops were very engaged, so first 4 months we gave opportunity to others to work freely. And when at the end of the semester we approached the workshop superintendent, and we were 8. None of the project groups in our batch comprised more than 6%. I was the only, all 8 leftovers. And they are so varied in characters. I will name, you all know them. To name, first person is Basudev, who was the production in charge, because that is how I convinced Ashok Sen that give them some marks. Because Ashok Sen was declining to give a pass marks to Basu. I know he hasn't done anything. Ashok Sen, Kamalendu Chaudhary, then Ravindranath Vadivelu. Anuradha, please excuse me, you don't have such knowledge, but this is what had happened during college days. Then Abhijit Chanda, of course, because we are almost twins, and none of them have collected the text. I said, none of them have, as of now, collected the project report. I will make it brief. Chandrasekhar was one partner, and Sheikh Chand Pasha, I do not know how many of have seen him out. And we had purchased a 35 millimeter roll, and that roll was pushed in Toponde's camera. And we have a batchmate's photograph sitting in Nala, on the bus, on the Bedford truck bonnet, 3 photos from project. And Topon made that 35 roll so effectively useful, 38 photographs were made. And we had our passport size photos made from that roll. And all shirts are same. Sheikh Chand Pasha shirt, which could be 34 or 36 chest size, and we had different chest size. Sometimes the buttons are spreading high.
Stop it in the Adda sessions.
Okay. Now, Chandrasekhar learnt project I do not know. I cannot get him back to question what he learnt about that experimental stress analysis of curved beams. Nobody studied the theory part of it. But he learned to drink toddy. He used to say toddy. We used to buy a 10 rupee jala, in Bengali we call it matka. We used to buy that religiously at around 10 o'clock. We'll go to Faridpur, buy a 10 rupee jala, go to Netto's place. Netto will close down his shop, and Chandrasekhar said, toddy is beautiful.
How we corrupted simple minds. Okay, now, Mahajani, want to say something? Now then we have Shiva on Dibyendu, and then I think the next program has to start.
Be very brief. Nothing was said about Ashok Kumar Singh, so I just thought I'll mention a few sentences about him. He was known as Thakur because he basically came from a rural area in Uttar Pradesh, and when he joined the college, and for a few months he used to bring desi ghee from his home, and that was one attraction why I got friendly with him. So, but ultimately, the pressure from peers was so much that he could hardly consume his own desi ghee, and he stopped bringing it from home. He was one person. We had a lot of different kinds of violent things that happened in our college during those days, whether it was fight between college mates or the minibus people or so many other things. Many of you know about these things. Thakur was always in the forefront. I don't know whether he really realized why he is fighting and why is he hitting somebody, but he was like that. So once when he came back and I just asked him, ठाकुर यार तुम ये कर कैसे सकते हो? मेरे हाथ से तो एक किसी को मैं थप्पड़ भी नहीं मार सकता, frankly, unless ऐसा कुछ हो गया. अरे महाजनी तुम्हें क्या बोलूं, हम इतने से थे तब हमारे पिताजी और उसके बगल के जमीन वाले एक दूसरे को लाठी लेके लठैती करते थे, मारते थे. तो बचपन से हम यही सब सीखे हैं और इसलिए आज भी हम यही करते हैं. So that was a convincing answer for me. That's Ashok Thakur. Now, as far as Ranga was concerned, that was a very sad part in our whole, whatever time we spent in the college. Ranga was a very intelligent person. He was a different kind of person. Unfortunately, he had dropped a year. His father was, he had high expectations from Ranga, and Ranga could not live up to those expectations. So he was always under pressure, and then he got into so many different things that happens. Ultimately, he got so depressed that he went to a pond near our college and actually committed suicide. And that's how Ranga ended his life. That night, I would not like you to, but you must recollect, none of us slept that night. Each one, because we had seen Ranga after he was brought back from the pond. It was a terrible, terrible thing to see. And then it's unfortunate, but then his father and brother came.
When he left the room, his calculator was kept on. Room was on.
Yeah. And his father and his brother came for his last rites. And his mother also. But I mean, his father, I did not see a single tear in his eyes. We were all crying. But that was one thing I can never forget. But what I would like to just add is that children, or now our grandchildren, they will have their own life. Let's not pressurize them into something that we would want them to become. This is the only lesson we learned from Ranga's life. I'll just briefly, 2 sentences, I'll talk about Muhammad because he was my roommate along with Kamlesh Verma. Muhammad, when we were roommates, he was a special guard of Shah of Iran who was ruling at that time. And then the Iranian revolution was taking place. So he had a small transistor on which he used to listen to the news that was happening. We also used to have a photograph of Shah of Iran in our room. One fine day when we woke up in the morning, the photo of Shah of Iran was not there, but Ayatollah Khomeini's photo was there. So I asked Muhammad, what happened? He said, no, now Ayatollah Khomeini is the boss, and that's why I have changed the photograph. That's how, he was an extremely brave character. Just 2 more minutes. And he had a tiff with some seniors in our college. And those people at night came searching for him. Myself and Kamlesh, we were in the room. Muhammad was not there. So they dragged us out of the room, saying that, find Muhammad and bring him to us. And somehow, suddenly Muhammad came from someplace. So about 50 to 100 people with rods ran after him. They could not catch him. He ran all the way to the main building of our college and climbed up right on top of the water tank. And he hid there. Those guys, because they could not find Muhammad, they beat a lot of us. That's another story. But next day we came to know that Muhammad is injured and he has been taken to the DSP hospital. When we went to meet him, that guy was smiling. And he told me, these kind of people, they can do nothing. Because I have come from a foreign country, I didn't want to get into fight with them, and that's why I ran away. Otherwise, easily I would have killed 2 or 3 of them and everybody would have ran away. That's how Muhammad was.
Wow. So Shiva, would you like to come ahead and present on Boss Dibyendu Mondal? Again, that's one person's picture we don't have. So if anybody finds a picture, please share.
No, its picture is not there, but it's there within us. I think I still get goosebumps and butterflies in the stomach thinking of Dibyendu. We knew him as Boss. He used to stay in room number 324, hall 1, along with Arup and Devojyoti. And we were the next room neighbors, Kanchon, myself and Bipul. I think the only difference, only one thing that separated us was that wall. We were so very close. Unlike many of us, Dibyendu was very different, very disciplined, very structured, fit and fine. He used to keep himself very neat and clean. He never wore a trouser or a banyan the second time without washing. It was a revelation for us. While we used to wear it for weeks, I hardly saw him wearing chappals. He used to be on his shoes. Probably for many of us, we left the shoes the day we came to the college. We hardly had a pair of Ajanta chappals. But he was different. Boss, why he was called Boss? He was very diplomatic. I still remember once there was a guy who was chatting away and he wouldn't stop. So in order to stop the chatterbox, he said, "Hey Arup, tu ei circuit diagram ta korto? Ami parchi na." So Arup, he left chatting and he went and started solving that circuit diagram. So that was Boss. He used to play mentally. All these are attributes, but still, I think one attribute which many of us know, probably Manos Kanchan, he was even a brighter blast furnace than the DSP. He could lit the clay blast furnace with both his hands, even more brighter than the DSP. Notwithstanding, wherever he is, our prayers are with him, and I hope his family is there. The way he was so strong, I think he must have conveyed the strength to his family. And wherever you are, Boss, be fine. We all love you. Friends, I think with due permission, I've scribbled some line for a song. If you permit, I'll sing.
Stand mic.
Hey, you guys, where have you all gone away? Itna jaldi and so soon, leaving us so sad and in gloom. Hey, you guys, where have you all gone away? Itna jaldi and so soon, leaving us so sad and in gloom. Zindagi kuch bhi to nahi, तेरे बिना सच में कहाँ चले गए तुम लोग, कहाँ चले गए तुम लोग.
यारो जहाँ भी हो खुश रहो और प्यार से We all love you so much. We all love you so very much.
Thanks, Shiva. That was very poignant. I think we are about to remember our good friends. This fine? You want the mic?
Mic should be fine, yeah. This is a prayer. I mean, we always say that a human being or any other being actually lives forever because it's the body which goes away, but the spirit always lives. So this is a prayer which is really sort of helping us build that strength to recognize the spiritness in ourselves and also the people who have left us. So I'll just, if you want to repeat, you could, but I could just talk about this. So this is the prayer I'll just go through. May the divine being, who is the Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Aura Master of the Zoroastrian, the Great Spirit of Native Americans, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from the darkness to light, from death to immortality. May we be granted strength, freedom, and clear understanding. May we learn to see God in our own hearts and in everyone around us. May God bless us all and fill our hearts with gratitude, grace, and love. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.
Thank you. And if I may request you now to kindly stand up if you can and just spend 1 minute in silence. Thank you.